Hello, happy Monday, everybody. Thank you for joining us at Revospin Live. Today, we're going to be talking about some marketing tips here for your small business. We like to talk about marketing often because it's one of the areas that's really important to bringing you potential customers. We always want to work on our services, our photo booth, and things like that. But at the end of the day, without proper marketing, you're not going to be able to bring the business in to pay for all of that, and then also to be able to increase what you have in terms of your photo booth experience. So today we're going to talk about a few tips to increase your business flow. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start out with tip number one, which is figure out what kind of questions your potential customers will ask before making a decision. And what that means is you want to know already what people are going to ask when you either approach them or when they inquire about your service. Let's just say that you get a message on Instagram, Facebook Messenger, your website, or just basically someone maybe referring to you. What are the questions that they're going to ask? What's going to be important to them? So the one thing you want to remember on this is you want to write this one down, but is talk more about the people that you serve versus the product that you have. If all you do is talk about product, it's not going to strike any type of emotional connection. So to get emotional connection, you want to talk about, you want to make sure you have the answers that revolve around them and their events. You want to be able to ask them questions as well, so you can tap into that. So some questions might be that they're going to ask is, of course, can you show me some examples of your work? Do you have any testimonials? What type of service can I provide? What are my guests going to think from this? What are my guests going to get out of it? A lot of time we deal with events, and the main reason why people do events is because of the guest experience, their guest. This is why people go pretty much and spend the money they do on their events. So because of that, you want to be able to answer those questions. So get used to what they are. Talk to people beforehand, or talk to other people in the business, maybe people that are the same type of vendors, and get maybe a list of questions that are normally asked and know how to answer them as it relates to your business. The next tip here is, can I solve any problems or a potential customer might have with my product or service? So a lot of times, people are looking for a photo booth. So usually their issue is they want to create something more memorable. They want to capture more video or photos. They've seen it at other parties or events. This is probably one of the top ones. They've seen it at other people's events, and they want to have that too. They want to try to provide that same experience. Imagine someone's wedding, and their problem is they want a photo booth experience, and they don't know who to hire. So you're solving the problem by telling them, I'm the one that you should hire, and this is why. So you want to be able to confidently tell them that. You also want to be able to sound like an expert again with your know-how of the industry and everything. So if it doesn't seem like there's a problem that you can actually solve with a photo booth, someone might say, well, what problem am I solving? You can actually then try to question them in a way to ask them, well, would your wedding or your event be better with or without a photo booth? This is something where you're creating an actual a gap between what might make their event complete and what you can offer them. And so a good technique is to actually sometimes ask them, what type of events are you having at your, do you have a DJ? Do you have a photographer? Is the photographer going to be able to supply images to each and every person in the room as a memory? Well, that's what a photo booth can do. So have that handy. The next thing here is stories about people who did not hire you. Don't mention any names or situation. Don't mention any names of other companies. You don't want to be that person that's downplaying somebody else's services that they're offering, but you want to talk about situations. Find out horror stories about people who have offered the same type of services you're offering, and be able to talk about that, because you have to be able to sometimes pull a little bit of pain in order to convince people that you're the right one. It is a selling technique, but a lot of times you've got to strike something in someone for them to want to actually pull out a credit card and pay you money. Okay. The next thing following up on that is you want to talk about good experiences. You want to talk about the experiences that people have had now with your services. So going off of the talking about bad experiences with other people, you now correspond that with good experiences that people have had with you because they chose you. You want someone that will say, I want to be like that person. I don't want to be like the person who chose another service that wasn't fulfilling. So be able to back that up. But for the marketing purposes, you want to be able to talk about this. We're going to go on to the fifth and final topic here, which is be able to offer information or tips about things other than your product. Okay. And what that means is knowledge of parties, weddings, vendors, venues in your area. Become an event expert. So one way to get someone hooked into a little bit about what you do is become an expert maybe on all the venues in your area. You want to be able to talk about the experiences that people can have with photo booths. You want to talk about maybe DJ suggestions. Maybe, it might be a florist. So if you do your homework and you can actually research everything about events and holding events in your area, know about like who the big event planners are, know where the venues are, know maybe some contacts of names. If you refer someone, for example, to another good vendor of a service or a venue hall or something, they're going to thank you. And then after that, it's going to be pretty much, I feel an easier sell to sell your photo booth services because you've helped it out. People want to give back. When you give them something either for free, for example, advice, then their best way of thanking you is to hire you for your service. So if you want to make it easier for them to make that decision, just offer up good information for free all the time. Put out a post like, hey, is anybody looking for, a good florist? And not only that, but then you're going to probably get something back from that vendor as well. Happy Monday, start of the week, but hopefully these marketing tips can help you. And if you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and leave them on the Facebook page, the support group. Or if you'll watch this at a later time, because we'll be posting this on YouTube, then you can go ahead and leave something in the comment section there below, and we'll try to get back with you. Take care, and you have a good evening if you're on the East Coast and a good afternoon if you're joining us on the West Coast. Thank you, and take care.